mainly the parts in our mouth, nose, and pharyngeal region. So what we need to know is quite easy. You see nose and pharynx. This part is the nose, and back of the nose from this point up to the level of vocal cord, the whole thing is called the pharynx. All right, pharynx. So this is the nasopharynx, and we have got one small opening right here. That is the opening for auditory tube or eustachian tube or pharyngotympanic tube. And the region below is behind the oral cavity. We call it oropharynx. And below the oropharynx, this is just in front of the larynx. This part, we call it laryngopharynx. And this tiny little slit you see, this is the vocal cord. All right, vocal cord. And other things we need to know about the respiratory system, I'm going to show you later. And actually, you know, the lungs and the diaphragm, you actually know about those things. So let's move forward. So this is the model of kidney, and you saw many models like this. There is another one. All right. So the kidney, it has got the shape of a bean, and this region is the outer thing, cortex. And these are small triangular or figs-like areas. These are called medulla, right? Medulla, renal pyramids. Medulla. And here we have got small funnel-like areas. These are the minor calyces, and 2 or 3 minor calyces, they are confluent together to form the major calyx. All of them make something like a big funnel. We call this portion pelvis. And this is the ureter, and it continues to the urinary bladder, all right? And here you can see some blood vessels. This is, of course, the renal artery, and this is the renal vein. So nothing much to know from this. And can I see that thing too? Thank you. And you see here, we can separate this thing in some other models. This is the glomerulus, right? One knot of capillaries. And this is called the Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule, and the whole thing is called renal corpuscle. All right, renal corpuscle. This is this part, corpuscle. And here we have got 2 blood vessels, one entering and one exiting. The entering one is bigger, afferent arteriole. The exiting one is smaller. So there is a pressure generated over here that is called efferent arteriole, and with that pressure we can filter. There are 2 types of nephrons. This is the whole nephron, this is another nephron. Some of them we call cortical nephron because their main parts are in the cortex, and only 15% we call them juxtamedullary because their main portion in the medulla, and they're close to the medulla. All right, juxtamedullary nephrons. And the white thing you see, this is the collecting duct, is collecting the urine from many nephrons. All right.
So which side is the medulla?
Medulla is this side, below that line, and above this line, this is the cortex. All right. Okay. And urinary bladder and ureter, we have got another model. We'll try to show you that thing too. All right. Now about the alimentary system, and we will use this model. Could you please bring that thing forward?
This one?
Yes. David, watch it. Be
Ellie, be careful.
Don't break
You guys
your
thought it was
head.
gonna fall on me, right?
Yes. Not so good. Yes. So a couple of things are missing over here, but you know most of the things already. So once again, this is the nose, and this is the pharynx. Auditory tube you can see. This is the upper tongue or uvula, and this is the epiglottis. You can see a small portion over here. You can also see the epiglottis right there.
Which model would you use?
Anyone.
Yeah, anyone. All right.
Very specific.
And this is the vocal cord, and up to this we have got the pharynx. All right. This part laryngopharynx, oropharynx, and nasopharynx. This whole long muscular tube is called esophagus, and I told you that a couple of things are missing. So the big thing we are missing here, the stomach, right? Stomach should be here, and right there we should have the liver with the gallbladder, right? Gallbladder. And you know, stomach will continue as duodenum. So this part is the duodenum. Within the curvature of the duodenum, we have got the pancreas. This is the pancreas, and it's this main duct. You can imagine the diagram of liver. You know that at the undersurface of the liver, we have got a small sac. We call it gallbladder. And when we do not produce any bile, rather we store the bile over there. And gallbladder is connected to this duct with one duct that is called cystic duct. So cystic duct and this main pancreatic duct will make one common opening in the duodenum. All right, so the green thing is the duct from the gallbladder coming all the way down. The duodenum is the first part of our small intestine. We have got the second part called jejunum. Jejunum is left upper corner of your abdomen. All right, and the right lower corner of your abdomen, we have got the other part called ileum. There is no clear-cut demarcation which one is what, but just know which part we have got this thing, location. Jejunum is right here and ileum is right there. Before we leave, you see that there is one thing right here at the tail of the pancreas or at the end of the stomach. This is the spleen. All right, the biggest spleen. You have seen the spleen in the cat, which is really huge. And let's go here again. And here you see that the ileum is inserted into another big tube. I use the word continuous right here. Esophagus continuous as stomach, stomach continuous as duodenum. But now I'm using a different word. The ileum is inserted into the large tube. This part of the tube is called the cecum. The whole thing is the large gut. This is the cecum. From the cecum, something is hanging below, and this is appendix. All right. From cecum, you can see that little part is going up. That is called ascending colon, and one long transverse part, that is a transverse colon, and that is the sigmoid colon. In this model, not clearly shown, but it should be one spiral-like thing, sigmoid colon. And we have got one straight portion at the end, which is called rectum. Rectum means straight. And finally, we have got the anal canal, all right? Finally, we have got the anal canal. So most of the things are done, okay? All right. Now, that's it.
There.
Okay. So about the vessels like abdominal aorta, then yeah, don't worry about
Okay,
those
so that was a
things.
heart, right?
Wait, don't worry about what?
The blood vessels, all right?
Check it out for me on the machine.
Yes, you need to. Ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, little part is. No, on the cat it is very difficult to figure out which one is ascending, descending.
So just cut throat.
In the cat,
No, it's
I
not mine. It's not
only
mine.
give you
I'll take a
the
picture
things you can see. Okay. Now,
Brain.
You guys are going down this hill.
the central thing, right? Brain, all right? Brain. Your brain, very big brain, all right? So, the brain has got several parts. Let's start with that. You know that this is the cerebrum, main brain, and this is the smaller part called cerebellum. And then we have got one middle portion right here. If we open this thing like this, neurosurgery, all right? So now you can see that this orange portion is also the part of our forebrain, but it has got a new name. It's called diencephalon, all right? We've got thalamus over here, hypothalamus right there. Below the hypothalamus, we have got the pituitary gland right here. And this is number 48, I think. This is the epithalamus, all right?
I'm going to ask because that's on the test. Remember, 48 is what?
Epithalamus,
Epithalamus.
all right, or pineal gland. This very small white portion I am trying to pinch in between these two fingers. This is the midbrain, all right? And this portion with this pin, this is the pons. And the portion below, it is the medulla oblongata, and rest of the thing, you know, that is the spinal cord. All right. And this is one of the ventricles you already know. This is one of the lateral ventricles. You will have the third ventricle right here. This is the cerebral aqueduct. This is the fourth ventricle, which will continue as the central canal of the spinal cord throughout the length. All right. Now let's go and see the other things, like the lobes. You already know that the lobes are actually easy if you know the names of the bones. So the frontal lobe is the anterior part with the frontal bone. You know where the frontal bone lies. This is the parietal lobe, upper part. This is the temporal lobe. You can see one tongue-like thing. This is the temporal lobe. And the yellow portion, this portion is the occipital lobe. Easy, all right. Now you also know about these elevations and depressions. Depressions we call them sulcus or sulci, and elevations, these elevations we call them gyres. These are only found in the cortex, and having those kind of foldings, we actually can triple the size of the cortex, all right, number of neurons. And inside, if you split it like this, you call this thing as hemisphere. And you know that even though this portion is separate, but from this portion down, we actually have got single thing, right? This connected. So this is called internal capsule. This one is called internal capsule. We didn't dissect the sheep brain. Then we actually have got some other smaller things too, but you don't need to worry about this. I'm not going to give you the sheep brain this time, all right? Sheep brain. So know the basics, all right? Yes, very good. Okay. So about the numbers, some of you are having some confusions about the numbers. So you see the numbers over there.
I thought it was just double-sided.
Yes.
No.
Unfortunately enough. All right. About the areas, you know that this is the central sulcus, separating the red area from the purple-white area. This is the central sulcus, like Mississippi River, right? One long river. So at one side of the river in front, we have got the area for mainly motor activities. And behind this river, we have got the area for sensory activities. Keep that thing in mind. That will help you a lot. And here you can see everything written, motor cortex, sensory cortex. But I'm not going to ask you to show this thing because this is already written. I'm going to ask you to know the numbers. So this is area 4. All right, this is area 4, the motor cortex. And this is the sensory cortex, is area 312. I wrote 1, 2, 3, but the real thing is 312. All right, 312. So these two things you are done with. This is, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now number 17. Not everything you need to know, number 17. This green portion is number 17. All right, number 17. And where is area 41 and 42? Area 41 and 42 is the auditory cortex. All right, auditory cortex. And yes, in the temporal lobe, you can see that hearing. Hearing,
Where?
same area here. Hearing. All right, hearing. Hearing input is area 41, 42.
Why
All
doesn't
right,
it say it on it?
Professor, can
Yeah.
you show this side?
this one. All right,
So how many numbers?
couple of. And area 22 is the area where it produces sound, this blue area. Area 22, this blue area. All right, blue area, area 22. And area 43 is right here on the tongue. You can see the tongue written over here. That is area 43. And 44 and 45,
This class is turning into a math class.
yes, like this. Area 44 and 45, these things are right here. Sensory speech, and we call it Wernicke's area. All right, Wernicke's area.
Also
Veronica.
41 and 42, so it was for hearing.
41 and 42 right here, 44 and 45 right there, 43 is right there, 22 is right there.
The lab manual?
Is in the lab manual. It's in your slides too. All right. Okay, so just know these numbers. Okay. Now let's go and see the eyeball. All right, eyeball. So muscles of the eye, and you know these are called extraocular muscles. Which eye is this? Right or left eye?
How do you know?
Right one.
This guy's a cyclops. He only has one.
Cyclops, yeah.
Right.
It's right, it's right. It's nose, right? So that's right, it's the upper part. So if you know which is right, then you actually know the names of the muscles. This is one straight muscle, superior rectus. That one below is inferior rectus, of course. This is outside lateral, and that one is medial rectus. Now two oblique muscles. That is on the superior part, that is called superior oblique. And that is below, that is inferior oblique. So easy, all right. And this is the optic nerve. This is not a muscle, this is the
It's very
optic nerve.
important.
Optic nerve.
Where?
Wait, where's the optic nerve? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's easy, all right. Even one blind man can see that thing. All right. Now about the real eye. Yes?
The rectus?
Sorry?
The rectus?
These are rectus muscles. All, I mean, 4 out of 6 muscles are rectus, straight muscles. Superior rectus, inferior, lateral, and medial. And these two muscles, this one and the one you can see, these are called oblique muscles. All right?
Going up on YouTube anyway.
Now, let's see that eye model. Sorry. Okay.
have to have an iPad, bro.
All this time
Huh?
it wasn't
Have to
recording.
have an iPad.
Are you
So this is our eye from our